When my heat starts feeling more like AC, my next step is a heater core flush. My thermostat's new, so we get right up to temp, so something's blocking my coolant's way to the heater core. So we're flushing that out today through these two hoses. I'll make this quick and easy because it is. Grab a pair of channel locks and start with the in hose on the thermostat housing, and then the other one at the water pump inlet left of the valve cover. They'll take some shimmying after you loosen whatever's clamping them on. Just take note of how they were routed for when they go back on. And we're almost ready to start blasting. Just point that open hose toward whatever's catching the coolant before you do. The Flusher 9000 debuted here and made this job a lot easier. A regular garden hose nozzle would be completely fine, but it won't be hands-free. The adapter is super easy to put together, and I'll show you how in a bit. Double check that the open hose is pointing where it should and that your pan's under there, because you really want to catch as much of this stuff as possible. Just cue the obligatory reminder that coolant's poisonous and irresistible to animals. Fun fact, they add bitter chemicals to it to dissuade the connoisseurs among us from indulging. I link my favorite coolant related article on the subject in the description. After your flush cycle, take a look at what's in the pan. I felt like a prospector panning for gold, only instead of a sense of joy that treasures are near, it's a reminder that rust sets out to ruin everything I value. Anyway, that crunchy hose means flush me again please, in Jeepanese, so we flushed it again for good measure. At this point, the stream was crystal clear, which tells us we can start putting things back together. Before that, these two adapters we put together made this much more effective than jamming the hose into the other and having to hold it. We found these at Home Depot, but I linked the pieces below if you just want to have them shipped to your house. Using my links earns me a small commission for helping out, and that's out of Amazon's pocket, not yours. Check out my storefront for everything I use in, on, and around this XJ. Reconnect the thermostat hose followed by the water pump hose and reroute it as it was before, because the last step is replacing the coolant we flushed out and burping out the air bubbles we left in the system. Just make sure you get the hose clamps nice and tight, and that the vehicle is cold before starting this next step. A spill-proof funnel like this one is crucial for this, and I linked this one in the description. It sits in your radiator above the whole system so air can escape as you add coolant. Just turn the engine on and keep adding it, and waiting for the bubbles to stop. When you see a still pool of coolant in there, all the air's out of the system. Stick in the plug that comes with the kit that turns it into a bucket, and put it in the coolant reservoir on the other side of the engine bay if it needs it. The only thing more satisfying than hot heat is cold AC, and we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. Let me know how you make out on this one in the comments and any other tips you might have for the squad.